The last few days has seen the stock price of Apple push out to fresh all-time highs once again. So is this the start of a new trend higher for the US's largest stock? I thought it'd be interesting to do an update on Apple. We had since, broadly speaking, since September of last year, something of a sideways range for Apple, but it started pushing out to briefly to new highs in July, and it's continued that into September. We had earnings for Apple better than expected. So as usual in this video, I'll talk a bit about the recent news, what to look out for in the days ahead. Then we'll come back onto the charts and see where the opportunities might be. Hello, I'm David Jones from Capital.com, and I thought this time around on the stocks channel, let's do an update for Apple. We've seen the stock recently, very recently, hit fresh all-time highs. So let's take a look at it again and see where we might see it go from here. So as usual, in this video, I'll talk a bit about the recent news, the earnings around Apple, what to look out for in the weeks ahead. Then we'll jump back onto the trading platform and take a look at things in a bit more detail. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, if you could click on subscribe, it does help support the channel, and it means we can continue to push out lots of different videos throughout the week on the various different stocks that we look at. Okay, let's get into it and take a look at Apple in a bit more detail. So just in case you've been living in a cave for the last 50 years, Apple was founded in 1976. It's a multinational tech company, probably best known for the Apple iPhone that's been around now for, it must be 13, 14 years. The company has done very well, of course, to say the least. It is the largest US stock by market capitalization. So at the time of recording, at the previous day's close, Apple had a value of around $2.5 trillion. And just this week, we've seen that stock move out, as I said, to fresh all-time highs. We had the company's latest earnings. They were released in July for the third quarter. Good numbers. The market was expecting earnings per share of around about $1. They came in at $1.30, and sales on a quarter-by-quarter basis compared to the quarter in the previous year, sales were up by more than 35%. So perhaps it's not too surprising that we've seen the stock continue to push out to fresh highs. But there is a concern, of course, at the moment around technology, and Tim Cook, the chief exec of Apple, reiterated this and said that the company did expect to see supply constraints due to the global chip shortage that we've been experiencing for a while now. It's affecting all sorts of sectors, and the company said it could impact on supply of iPhone and iPad in the current quarter. But as I said, from a stock point of view, it's doing well. All-time highs this week. The Apple stock is up about 17% year to date, so a solid performance. Breakouts to all-time highs are normally seen as bullish. Some people would see it as perhaps the next leg higher starting. We'll take a look at the chart in a second and see what the case is. September is traditionally a big month for Apple as a business. This one's no exception. We're expecting to hear new product announcements in September from Apple. Whether that means a new iPhone, we'll have to wait and see. But let's talk about the levels to watch. Then we'll jump onto the platform and look at the technicals in a bit more detail. So the most immediate hurdle is that all-time high. Only a couple of days ago, $157.25. If we break through there, start looking at the 160s, that sort of area. And then I think we're just looking at potential psychological levels on the way up. Lots of support left in this rally, left behind. The most immediate support for me, just the other side of $145 for the stock. So in theory, if we did see it come under a bit of pressure from here, there are lots of levels to watch for a potential bounce. But as usual, to put a bit of color on these numbers, let's take a look at the charts. I thought we'd start things off, as usual, with our 20-day moving average. These work very well when markets are trending, like we can see from April of 2020. The stock price moves above the moving average. That's the buy signal, and then sticks with it. Brief sell signal in July last year, then crosses back above for a buy signal again. Some of the latest signals we had a buy signal in June as the price moved through about 125. Then it got a little bit messy from July through to the end of August. But the latest signal we had was at the end of August as the stock moved above 147. And so far it's trading about $6 higher than that. So that was the latest buy signal for Apple stock. So from a moving average point of view, for now at least, it's in a bullish position and it's saying the trend is up. If we take a look at the RSI down here, that blip, this is a 10-day RSI, that blip out to fresh all-time highs again on the 7th of September, dragged the RSI into overbought. So again, from an RSI point of view, it can be a suggestion that perhaps the move has gone far enough for now. But as I often say with RSIs, you need to be careful in strong trending markets, because if we jump back to late June of this year, the RSI went overbought when the stock was at 135. The stock carried on to 150 before it started showing any sort of weakness. So I think just a note of caution, if you're religiously sticking to what RSIs show, they can give false signals in strong trending markets. But perhaps the more cautious may wait to see if we get more of a sell-off from current prices and the RSI gets to a more, or gets near oversold at least. If we take a look at the trend and some of the levels to watch, an obvious trend off the March lows in 2020, it did fall out of that trend line in Feb of this year. Then we had this period of just sideways trading, really. We had the top, the high was set in January up at 145. And then we did see it start to look like it was breaking out mid-July. It was a little bit scrappy around that 145 level. But I think the moves we've seen lately, if we zoom in, so the strength from late August into September, for now at least, does seem to confirm this is a valid breakout. So some people would take the view, well, we have a new trend starting. If we took the trend off the June lows, it looks something like that at the moment. And I think some levels to watch, if we do see a deeper sell-off from Apple from here, at the time of recording, it's trading just below $154 for the stock. We had really good support, short to medium to term support from July, around 141, so just ahead of $141 a share. So even if it was to drop $10 from where we are now, we're still above that support. So that would be one level I think some technical analysts would be waiting or watching if we saw the stock under some pressure. I think it's only if we start to break below 141 does it start to look like it's something of a false breakout, and the risk is we go back into this sideways range. But again, to keep some perspective here, let's not forget, it's only a couple of days ago that we saw Apple hit fresh all-time highs. That's normally a sign of a stock that's got some momentum behind it. The breakout so far does look to be valid. From a chart point of view, any weakness from here could be a buying opportunity, assuming that 140 to 141 level holds. Let's see how the next few weeks and months pan out. That's it for the update in Apple. We'll see how this month's product launch goes. We'll come back to it again and do an update. But at the moment, with it hitting all-time highs, does still look bullish. We'll see if it can follow through on that. But for now, from me, David Jones, and Capital.com, we'll leave things there. Good luck with your investing. For more trading videos just like this, please subscribe to our channel.